You were taught to explain yourself, to justify, to confess, to reveal your inner workings as if truth alone could exonerate you. But in the theater of power, explanation is a weakness. A man who explains is a man who begs to be understood, and the one who begs has already surrendered. You think clarity earns trust, but trust is not granted in politics. It is either weaponized or destroyed. They listen to your reasons not to understand you, but to map your soft tissue, to measure the angles of your loyalty, the weight of your need, the cracks in your armor. The strong do not explain. They observe. They study the rhythm of others, their hungers, their fears, their private vanities disguised as principles. They know the terrain before speaking a word. They use silence as a scalpel. To rule, you must reverse the lens. Shift from being understood to understanding. From defending yourself to mastering the weaknesses of others. Because people do not follow truth, they follow what flatters their illusions. They do not betray because you were wrong. They betray because it serves them. Loyalty is not moral. It is transactional, situational, and always provisional. Beneath every handshake is a ledger. Beneath every oath, a calculation. The sooner you accept this, the less shock will govern your decisions. Stop asking why they turned on you. Ask what use you stopped being. Power is a current. It does not reward stillness. The moment you become predictable, you become disposable. So stop explaining your intentions. Start anticipating theirs. Because the game is not fought in speeches, it's fought in rooms you are not invited to. In hesitations, in whispers, in the flicker of an eye before agreement. Those who survive do not shout louder, they listen better. Study how they move when the room shifts. Study who speaks last and who never speaks at all. Every silence contains a hierarchy. Every smile conceals a threat or a debt. You want clarity, they want leverage. You speak plainly, they catalog your vulnerabilities. You try to be good, they try to win. This is not cynicism. This is the operating system of every palace, every party, every boardroom, every battlefield dressed in suits. The predator does not blame the prey for running. He learns the pattern of its escape. Leadership is not virtue, it is voltage. It is the ability to absorb betrayal without flinching, to reward with precision and punish with calculation, never with emotion. The moment you feel sorry for yourself, you've given your enemies their script. They will mirror your pain and use it to end you. Pity is not a currency in politics. It is a signal, a flare that tells the circling wolves, you are ready to be devoured. So guard your mind like a fortress. Sharpen your presence like a blade. Do not decorate your failures with honesty. Learn from them like a surgeon learns from corpses coldly, cleanly, efficiently. Because every mistake is a message from the world. You misread the terrain. You trusted what you should have tested. You spoke when you should have watched. To lead is to walk through shadows with dry eyes. To understand that behind every alliance is the ghost of a future betrayal and to shake the hand anyway. But to do so with a dagger not in your hand, but in your knowledge. Stop explaining yourself. Start studying them. The hunger that drives them. The voids they need you to fill. The fears they dress up as righteousness. Because no man wants the truth. He wants a version of it that does not indict him. And the one who can deliver that illusion without ever believing it himself is the one who controls the game. This is not manipulation. It is adaptation. The ecosystem of power does not reward purity. It rewards precision. You do not survive by being the most honest. You survive by being the most exacting. Know what they want to hear. Know when to say it. Know when silence will make them speak more than any question. They are not complicated. They are patterns. They are cycles of need wrapped in the illusion of principle. Do not despise this. Use it. The world is not fair. It is legible to those who stop looking for fairness. Study the lie they tell themselves. Then offer them a mirror that flatters it, while you hold the truth in your own hands, quietly, firmly, coldly. Because leadership is not love. It is foresight wrapped in myth. And the myth must be beautiful enough to follow, but hollow enough to discard. Stop explaining yourself. Start studying them. They will thank you for understanding them, even as they never truly understand you. That is how you stay alive in the game, by never mistaking the applause for allegiance, by never confusing being needed with being safe. The moment they no longer need you, they will forget your kindness, but they will remember your leverage. They will remember what you knew about them. They will remember the silence you kept and fear what else you never said. This is the architecture of influence, not in noise, but in knowledge, not in explanation, but in quiet dominion over their secrets. So stop reaching for clarity. Reach for insight. Look past their words into their wounds, and build your rule not on trust, but on their inability to hide from you. Because when you see them clearly, you no longer need to be seen at all. You become untouchable, because the true sovereign is not the one who is followed. It is the one who sees the road before it is built and shapes the wind behind every decision. So again, stop explaining yourself. Start studying them. And from that study, build the only kingdom that cannot be overthrown. A kingdom of perception, ruthless, unspoken, and eternally awake. Power does not vanish. It migrates, it adapts, it sheds its skin, and survives in new forms, new languages, new symbols. But the hunger beneath it remains unchanged, to dominate, to shape, to outlast. And those who do not understand this transformation mistake the costume for the creature. They think power has become more humane because it speaks with softer words. They think manipulation has ended because it now arrives through interfaces, not interrogations. But nothing has changed, only the tools have evolved. The instincts are the same. Those who fail to study this evolution are eaten not by violence, but by relevance lost. They speak a language no longer used by kings. Control now lives in the unseen, in the code, the narrative, the rhythm of a room. The new ruler is not the loudest. He is the one who can frame the debate before it begins. He understands timing like a general and silence like an artist. He never says more than he must. He speaks when it breaks the rhythm of the others, never to join it. To govern today is to manipulate attention, not armies. The front lines are not drawn in blood, but in perception. The battlefield is now internal. Those who command thoughts shape events without firing a shot. And yet, the discipline required to command perception is far more brutal than the blade. It demands the death of your innocence. You must learn to look at others as functions, not friends, as power nodes, not personalities. This is not cruelty, it is clarity. The game does not care about your intentions, only your positioning. The one who plays sentimentally loses not because he is kind, but because he is blind. The emotions of others are not barriers to your rule, they are openings. Grief becomes dependence. Pride becomes leverage. Guilt becomes an invitation. To win, you must not scorn the emotions of others. You must chart them. Every strong man has a hidden wound. Every loyal servant has a future price. Every ally is a rival in waiting. The question is not if they will turn, but when and whether you will see it first. Betrayal is not a rupture. It is an equation. When the cost of staying loyal exceeds the benefit, they will cross the line. The mistake is believing they ever stood on your side. They stood only where their advantage was safest. That advantage shifted, and so did they. If this truth wounds you, you are not ready to rule. You must see betrayal as gravity, not treason. As physics, not treachery. And once you accept it, you begin to move differently. You reward not with love, but with necessity. You design dependence, not affection. You do not seek trust, you construct arrangements that make disloyalty suicidal. The myth of the noble leader was always a lie. The leader survives not through virtue, but through comprehension, through the studied dissection of the human animal, through knowing what they crave before they crave it, and what they fear when the lights go out. The ruler is not loved. He is needed, feared, or removed. Love is a variable. Need is a constant. Your task is not to win hearts. It is to structure conditions where your absence is more terrifying than your flaws. That is rule. That is architecture. That is the fortress that cannot be stormed, the one that lives in their dependencies, not your declarations. Appear weak when necessary, yield when it draws out the truth, disarm through exposure, yours or theirs. A controlled admission is not surrender, it is bait. Let them believe they understand you, so they reveal themselves. Let them speak, and listen for the pattern. People reveal more in monologue than under interrogation. In their need to be heard, they spill their hidden ambitions. Do not rush to speak. In restraint lies your map. Let others believe they are in control. Illusions are cheaper than wars, and far more effective. It is not enough to read men, you must also read time. Timing is everything. Say the right truth too early, and it is dismissed as paranoia. Say it too late, and it is irrelevant. The master of power is also a master of tempo. He knows when to wait and when to strike. He lets the arrogance of others grow fat before cutting its throat. He watches ambition ripen into overreach. He understands that the most fatal mistake in power is impatience. A premature move reveals your hand. A well-timed silence can destroy empires. Leadership is a long war against comfort. Every comfort softens the edge of your perception. Every indulgence clouds your focus. Those who grow fat on success forget that every victory plants the seeds of decay. The moment you believe you are safe is the moment you are most vulnerable. Do not trust ease. Do not crave applause. Do not mistake comfort for mastery. Build in discomfort. Discipline your instincts. Rule your appetites, because the one who conquers the self first cannot be conquered by others. Control must begin inward, or it will collapse outward. There are no permanent allies, only permanent interests, and the landscape of interest changes with every crisis, every scandal, every shift in wind. If you want stability, do not seek loyalty. Build alignment. If they gain more by standing with you than against you, they will remain. The moment the opposite is true, they will vanish. Accept this and design accordingly. Weep, and you will die as a fool. Plan, and you will rule among those who once vowed never to kneel. Nothing reveals character like access to power. Watch how they act when no one is watching. Study what they do when control is handed to them, not when they beg for it. The mask slips when victory tastes near. That is when their true shape emerges, not in opposition, but in dominance. And that is when you strike, if needed. Not to destroy, but to rebalance. To remind them, power does not belong. It is only ever on loan. Your enemies will not announce themselves. They will flatter. They will echo your ideas. They will smile, but their eyes will calculate. Do not fear the open opponent. Fear the one who mimics loyalty. The snake does not hiss, it blends. Study not only words but patterns, not only gestures but motives. The knife is always closer than you think. And when it comes, it will be by someone you allowed near. You were raised to be clear, to be good, to be honest. But clarity is not goodness. Goodness is not survival. Survival is about structure. It is about designing your presence to be indispensable, your knowledge to be irreplaceable, your silence to be terrifying. You are not required to be loud. You are required to be necessary. The man who is necessary will never be discarded, no matter how much he is hated. Understand this. The only power worth possessing is the kind that cannot be taken, only withdrawn. Build that power in layers, not in titles but in influence, not in control of things but of minds. The one who commands thought commands action. The one who defines the frame controls the outcome. Do not argue within their logic, create the terms. Do not fight their questions, redefine the battlefield. Never enter a war where you gain nothing by winning. Every battle must serve the architecture of your long-term strategy. If a conflict gives you no leverage, do not engage. Let others expend themselves. Time is your greatest ally. It weakens your rivals. It reveals their fractures. It brings you their secrets without effort. The impatient burn themselves out. The wise conserve their fire. When the time comes, do not hesitate. Ruthlessness delayed becomes weakness exposed. Mercy is only strategic if it strengthens your hold. If it does not, it is suicide. They will call you cold. Let them. The warmth they demand is the warmth of your vulnerability. Give them structure instead. Give them order. Give them a world they cannot control, but cannot survive without. That is true dominion, not force, but necessity. And through it all, do not forget, the appearance of morality is more useful than morality itself. They want to believe in virtue, not to practice it, but to believe they are ruled by it. Give them that comfort. Speak of justice, but move with calculation. Declare peace, but prepare for war. Praise their ideals, but never share in their illusions. Let them sleep in dreams you have designed while you remain awake in the architecture of truth. This is the cost of vision. This is the discipline of power. This is the solitude of clarity. Stop explaining yourself. Start studying them. And never again mistake visibility for control, loyalty for permanence, or silence for absence. Watch, wait, rule. They will try to provoke you, to bait you into reaction, because those who cannot control you with logic will attempt to control you with emotion. Rage, shame, guilt. These are the weapons of the weak when they wish to steer the strong. Do not respond. Do not defend. The moment you defend, you concede the frame. Instead, absorb the strike in silence. Let the blow pass through you, not into you. In that pause, they will expose more their need for control, their desperation to affect your rhythm. And once you know their need, you hold their leash. You will be accused. You will be misunderstood. You will be hated by those who cannot use you. Let them. Your clarity must not be diluted by public approval. Popularity is sugar in the bloodstream, intoxicating, but fatal if it governs your judgment. The masses do not love the leader. They love what the leader provides. The moment the provision ends, so does the adoration. What they call love is a contract. What they call faith is inertia. Only a fool builds his foundation on applause. The true ruler courts silence. He lets his absence grow louder than his presence. He does not boast of plans. He lets consequences announce his design. The quieter his construction, the more permanent his hold. Because in silence you cannot be preempted, you cannot be diluted, you cannot be stopped. Silence is not retreat, it is strategy. Speak only when the outcome is already shaped. Until then, remain a question they cannot solve. There will be moments when isolation claws at you, when exile tempts you to surrender the edge, to soften your clarity just to feel warmth again. Resist. That hunger for connection is natural, but it is also your enemy, because the kind of clarity that leads cannot coexist with the comfort that follows. You must learn to carry solitude as armor, not burden. The strategist walks alone not because he is unloved, but because he sees too clearly to be embraced by those who live inside the illusion. There will be offers, smiles, invitations to compromise your edge in exchange for ease. They will offer you platforms, positions, praise, all at the cost of your autonomy. Refuse them. The cage is still a cage, even if it's made of gold. Power diluted is power lost. Every concession weakens your center. If you must enter alliances, enter them as a sovereign, never as a supplicant. Preserve your distance, maintain your terms. Let them come to you, and when they do, make sure they leave indebted. Control is a slow accumulation. It is not seized in a moment. It is built in layers with each observation, each withheld word, each chosen loyalty. You will feel nothing shift. But one day, you will find that you have become the axis, that every decision orbits you, whether spoken or not. This is how control matures, not with noise, but with gravity. By becoming the point around which others revolve, unknowingly, inevitably, silently. You must become unreadable. Your intentions must be your own. Your moves must not be anticipated. A predictable ruler is a fragile one. Once they know what you will do, they can prepare for your arrival. And preparation kills fear. Fear is not brutality, it is mystery. It is the unknown edge, the unspoken possibility of what you might do. That shadow must always precede you. Never let them fully name you. Keep one door closed, one page unwritten. The unknown is worth more than the known because it paralyzes. The man who leads from mystery commands more than the man who leads from explanation. You must cultivate that mystery, not as performance, but as discipline. Discipline over your emotions, your disclosures, your urges to correct their misunderstanding. Let them misunderstand you. Let them build false maps. Each mistake they make in reading you becomes your advantage. Let them waste their strategy on the shadow of you, not the reality. Let them prepare for the wrong battle while you wage the right one. You will be tempted to explain yourself to those you love, to those who once stood with you. But explanation is not clarity, it is submission. It gives them a position from which to judge you. If they did not understand you before the move, they do not deserve the truth after it. Move anyway. Let the truth be written in the result. Those who deserve to understand will understand without words. Those who demand explanation were never with you, only with the version of you that served their comfort. Never wage war without a map, and never confuse motion with direction. The ruler does not act because he is provoked. He acts because he has prepared. Because every strike has already been rehearsed in silence, in solitude, in study. The attack may be sudden, but the victory is always prepared. Those who react lose. Those who anticipate shape the game itself. You must decide now. Will you be shaped by the world, or will you shape it? Will you wait to be chosen, or will you make yourself unignorable? Will you explain, or will you observe? Because both paths demand pain, but only one leads to dominion. To be sovereign is to carry pain with purpose, to endure rejection without softening, to carry the burden of seeing what others refuse to see, and acting on it without permission. You do not need to be understood. You need to be obeyed, or feared, or needed, or better yet, all three. But none of those are earned through explanation. They are earned through presence, through mastery, through the ruthless commitment to read the board as it is, not as you wish it were, to shape others not through inspiration, but through design. Do not build your life on hope. Build it on architecture. Hope is a drug. Architecture is war. The ruler is not hopeful, he is prepared. He does not dream, he constructs. He does not pray for mercy, he makes himself irreplaceable. That is your task, not to be liked, not to be praised, but to become necessary. Necessary in the machine, necessary in their outcomes, necessary in their survival. And when you are necessary, truly necessary, they will forgive your silence. They will explain your cruelty for you. They will frame your dominance as discipline, your absence as vision. They will need you to be the architect of their illusion, and in that moment, you will have won. Not because they followed, but because they followed without ever fully seeing you. That is the highest form of power, the one that does not beg, does not shout, does not even announce itself. The power that becomes the air in the room, the logic of the world. The rule beneath all other rules. The presence that does not need to explain because it is felt in everything. And it begins the moment you stop defending yourself and start studying them. You must come to terms with this. Not everyone is meant to be saved. Not every alliance is worth preserving. Not every loyalty is strategic. The leader does not confuse sentiment with strength. He sees clearly, cuts cleanly, and leaves no festering loyalties to rot beneath the surface. Mercy that delays decay is cowardice dressed as compassion. You do not owe preservation to those who are liabilities. Your role is not to carry them, but to construct something that endures, and endurance demands discipline, not nostalgia. Regret is a luxury of those who do not lead. Reflection, yes, but regret is retroactive mourning for a path not taken. The ruler cannot mourn what might have been. He must build with what is. Reality is your only ally. The past cannot be changed, only studied. The future cannot be predicted, only prepared for. Every error is tuition, every loss, a lesson paid in blood. You do not wallow in failure, you mine it. Extract from it the blueprint, reduce it to the geometry of miscalculation, and then build differently, stronger, colder, sharper. Weakness must be studied, not pitied, especially your own. Every fear you avoid becomes a gate others can enter. Every hunger you conceal but do not master becomes a leash they will find. The world is full of men who do not know their price, but everyone has one. Your task is to reduce that price to zero, to become so sovereign in your needs that nothing can be bargained out of you. The one who needs least controls most. This is the paradox of power. To gain it, you must need nothing they can offer. Master detachment, but do not become hollow. Emptiness is not clarity, it is apathy. You must feel deeply, just never show it. The passion must burn inward, not outward. Let your fire be contained. Visible flame warms others, hidden fire forges steel. You do not deny emotion, you discipline it. Emotion without discipline is chaos, but disciplined emotion is the most dangerous force in the world. That is what inspires awe. That is what radiates control. Remember, they are always watching. Even when you think you are alone, someone is calculating your trajectory. The ruler is never off stage. The performance is never over. You must learn to act in private with the same precision as in public, because power is not granted by speech, it is confirmed by consistency. Inconsistency invites questioning. Questioning invites resistance. Resistance invites collapse. So you must be one thing, through all things unshakable. The eye of the storm, the unmoved center. Your ambition must be silent, not because it is shameful, but because it is sacred. Let them speculate. Let them guess. Never declare the summit you seek. The declared goal becomes a fixed target. But the silent ascent unnerves everyone. They cannot tell where you are going, only that you are rising. That ambiguity is your shield. Do not rob yourself of it in exchange for praise. Every system has its gods. Some worship legacy, others worship profit, others worship purity. You must study the system you inhabit, learn what it rewards, what it punishes, what it fears. Then move within it as both participant and manipulator. Speak its language until you no longer need to, and then rewrite it, not from the outside, from within. The greatest revolutions do not come by storm, they come by infiltration. They will accuse you of ambition as if it is a vice. Let them. Their discomfort is a confession of their limits. Ambition is not greed, it is sight. The sight of what could be shaped, what could be commanded, what could be built. Ambition is not something to apologize for, it is something to cultivate with silence and steel. The ambitious man who hides his hunger will always outmaneuver the one who announces it. There will be victories. Do not celebrate them publicly. There will be moments of dominance. Do not pause. Every victory contains within it the seed of your next vulnerability. Every triumph brings exposure. The ruler must never bask. Basking is for those who believe the game ends. It does not. There is no summit, only plateaus before the next assault. If they see you celebrating, they know they've seen your ceiling. Never give them that satisfaction. Always leave them wondering how much further you can go. When they flatter you, listen carefully. Praise reveals more about the speaker than about you. What they praise is what they want from you. What they elevate is what they need to believe about you. Use it. Let their praise become their cage while you quietly outgrow it. Never believe your own legend. That is the beginning of decline. Believe only the metrics, the leverage you hold, the minds you influence, the outcomes you shape. Power is not a crown. It is a weight. It isolates. It demands. It consumes. But it also reveals. It shows you who you are beneath the rituals, who you become when nothing is stopping you. If that image terrifies you, you are not ready. If it steadies you, continue. You must be willing to become the architect of things others will never understand. You must be willing to be feared, resented, misunderstood, so long as the machinery functions, so long as the structure stands. There is no clean power, no pure rule, only managed consequences. The ruler does not dream of utopia, he manages entropy. He stabilizes chaos. He curates the inevitable decay. This is not pessimism. It is the only mature form of governance. Hope without structure is religion. Vision without ruthlessness is poetry. If you are to build, you must think in terms of decades, not days. Systems, not slogans. Cause, not conscience. You will outlast many. Friends will fade. Allies will turn. Enemies will outlive their use. And through it all, you must remain untouched at your center. That is not coldness, it is necessity. Attachment must be selective. Empathy must be strategic. You are not the healer, you are the architect, the builder, the keeper of the frame. Let others weep. You plan. Let others fight. You position. Let others hope. You move. You are not the storm. You are the system the storm moves through. You are not the fire. You are the fuel it unknowingly consumes. You are not the speech. You are the silence after the applause, when the real decisions are made. The ruler does not exist for others. He moves among them, but he answers to something higher. Not God, not ideology, not legacy, but structure, order, control. And when the time comes, when the world turns, when the alliances crack, when the illusions fracture, it is not the idealist who survives. It is not the loudest. It is not the most beloved. It is the one who studied them, patiently, silently, ruthlessly. So stop explaining yourself. Start studying them, and never stop. Because the moment you do, the moment you turn your gaze inward and ask to be understood, you've already begun to lose the very thing they will never give back once it's gone. Dominion. And so, here you are, not at the end, but at the edge of something most never approach, the truth behind power, stripped of its noble disguises. You now see the machinery without the myth, the human animal without its borrowed ideals. What you do next will define you, not in their eyes, but in the logic of history, that quiet, brutal witness to all who thought they could lead without understanding what it costs. You will not be remembered for your intentions. You will be remembered for your impact. Legacy is not what you meant, it is what you caused. And what you cause depends not on your heart, but on your ability to study, shape, and survive those who live in denial of their nature. They will keep pretending that the world is ruled by goodness. Let them. You know better now. Lead, not with hope, but with clarity. Rule, not with noise, but with necessity. Build, not to be praised, but so that when you are gone, the structure does not collapse. If they call you ruthless, so be it. If they call you distant, let it be so. If they fear you, understand this. Fear is simply the recognition of your unflinching awareness. You are not here to be embraced. You are here to hold the line when others fold, to carry weight they cannot see, to see through masks and act without apology. You do not ask for trust. You do not ask for belief. You take responsibility for the consequences they are too weak to own. In the end, there will be silence, no applause, no redemption, only the results. and they will speak louder than any explanation you could have given. So walk forward without confession, without hesitation, without regret. Stop explaining yourself